Other interesting political news, a Michigan governor signed a bill to prohibit election recounts due to allegations of fraud. Now, this is an actual thing. One would think you know, surely it's just a meme on the internet. It's not real. No, unfortunately, like many things in life, it is all too real. Now, again, it went viral on X Twitter. I'll read the substance of the actual article too. Now, in terms of on X Twitter, I meme, therefore I am, says, Holy F, Michigan Governor Whitmer signed bills into law that prohibited election recounts conducted due to allegations of fraud. Democrats will stop at nothing to prevent election fraud from being exposed. Oh, I'm sorry. I should have given you a verbal warning, because especially if you're watching the show, it's they have a picture of her, and it's not flattering, to say the least. And that one probably got 3.5 million views and 40,000 likes. Now, before we get to the comments, I'll read some of the actual summary of it. This is from Democracy Docket by Courtney Cohn, who's a writer over there. And this is fun. Oh, ironic, hypocritical, whatever word you prefer. They say, quote, Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer signed bills into law on Monday last week that will prohibit election recounts conducted due to allegations of fraud, and for some counts that do not impact election results. Whitmer said in a statement that this supports, I'm not sure if she's drunk or crazy, but again, this is a quote from her. It supports, quote, fair and free elections that make sure the winner can take office without unnecessary interference, unquote. Yeah, how about that? Now, again, this is Senate Bill 603, includes numerous provisions regulating election recounts. Notably, the law states a recount is not an investigation or an audit of the conduct of the election, and it is, quote, does not assess the qualifications of electors participating in the election or the manner in which ballots are applied for or issued to electors. Also, legislation does not allow an election board to investigate allegations of fraud. Instead, they must refer the matter to the prosecuting attorney of the county or the state attorney general. They also note that they're worried that, well, it's just frivolous. I mean, if it's a lot of these are just a small margin of errors, so does it really matter? Now they say, quote, in the analysis of the bill, the State House Committee on Elections explained that in the 2016 presidential race, Green Party candidate Jill Stein requested a recount of ballots in Michigan, even though she only received 1.0% of the vote, which, again, we waste a lot of money in the United States recounting votes. I'd be okay with that. And again, this is coming from someone who disdains most every government spending and gave, what do we give, especially other countries you don't know on a map. Again, Ukraine over 180 billion dollars. Yeah, we can't spend 8 to 12 billion dollars in the U.S. to build a southern border, or have in Michigan. They're making the state, making the argument of we can't waste money on that. And they say, quote, also in 2022, petitions were filed requesting recounts on two ballot proposals due to alleged voter fraud. Neither petition requested a recount of enough votes to impact the results, although many feel that these recounts were frivolous and they were required to be conducted because of the petitions that were filed legally. Which, again, it's one of those things where how would you know if the margin is that great unless you did a recount? Granted, there's always an inherent human error with the margin of error, but I mean, wouldn't it be better safe than sorry, especially with one of the few things, with something that so few Americans already distrust on the left and the right? It's just ridiculous. Wow. Now, of course, they're calling it common sense reforms like they all do. Now, let's go to the comments, though, see what the folks have to say. Well, let's see. Villina's Sprat said, I'm not a lawyer, but that sounds kind of illegal. Also, isn't she a ray of sunshine and getting 1.5 thousand likes? Becca says the cheating is out in the open and liberals don't even care. Getting 1.1 thousand likes. Rolling down more and more. Contrarian statement. Maybe? This person's name is Stop Seattle Dems 2024. Nevertheless, they say, quote, if just one of them feared God, just one, how did the party find so many that will never see heaven? Proverbs 9:10. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of the wisdom. They say, quote, January, and it's a picture of January 6th. It says, January 6th will go down in history as the day that the government staged a riot to cover up the fact that they certified a fraudulent election. They have a picture of Ray Epps, which, yeah. It turns out there's a lot of government folks out there, and it's also interesting that the police just allowed people to enter the Capitol and they guided them as well. That got 743 likes. Rolling down more and more. Jonita Maga says, why in God's name would anyone wanting a fair election do this? Unquote, getting 319 likes. Native Patriot says, quote, there are days like today where I'm convinced our country is fully lost and trying to mitigate the downfall is only extending the suffering of Lady Liberty. Getting 700 likes. Pro American Politics says this is going to backfire when Trump wins Michigan, getting 659 likes, which not all around possibilities. I mean, voting patterns are changing, but I mean, on average throughout history, Michigan is mostly blue, partially because of Detroit and the dystopian hellhole has become. Ironically, they keep voting the same way, but it's not all around possibility. Maybe. Let's see. Richard Carrier says, quote, the level of corruption in our government, our federal organizations, and our election process is so severely extensive and painfully obvious. The facts can no longer be denied, yet the external question remains, what are we, the legal citizens of America, going to do about it? And this picture of Teddy Roosevelt saying, quote, patriotism means to stand with the country does not mean to stand with the president. Got 151 likes. Scrolling down more and more. Theodore says, oh, look, it's a picture of Whitmer with, I think that source's son, getting 47 likes. See here. Any contrarian statements? Pretty much overwhelming against her. Granted, she signed off on it. Oh, that's kind of funny. Colorado Researcher is a picture of her in the back. Oh, cover your ears if you have children listening, but it's an adult website. And it says, gross. There's a picture of her on the adult website. She's clothed, but it says gross slut F's in whole state. And that got 301 likes. Oh. Now, the real question is, will more and more states adopt similar policies? Because again, that's not out of the realm of possibility. So let me know, do you think other states will follow suit and make it so you can't challenge elections or can't have recalls anymore? Let me know in the comments. As always, be fascinating to hear what you have to say. Thank you, everyone, for taking the time to tune in. Again, trying to get to 4,000 subscribers by the end of the month. So if you could click that button, I would greatly appreciate it. Also, leaving a thumbs up, thumbs down, or comment is a great way to give me some additional feedback, letting me know how I can make the show better and better. Lastly, don't forget to take the time to tell your family, tell your friends, tell your coworkers, heck, tell your enemies, tell anyone and everyone. Just stay safe, fight the good fight.